We've all heard about different diets: low carb, keto, Mediterranean, and plant-based. But have you ever come across the blood type diet? It sounds a bit out there at first, right? Eating according to your blood type? But let's dive into what it means, where the idea came from, and whether or not it actually has any scientific backing. We're going to break this down into easily digestible bites, answering common questions and exploring whether this diet is truly worth considering for your health. So, let's find out what a blood type diet is.
Well, the secret to getting healthy is choosing the right diet. And of all the different diet theories out there, there's always one person who does well on this diet and another person who does poorly on the same diet. 20 years ago, I wrote a book called Eat Right for Your Type that said that you're using your blood type, you could predict what particular diet would be best for you.
That's going to work, yeah.
The blood type diet was popularized by Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo in his 1996 book, Eat Right for Your Type. The idea is that your blood type, A, B, AB, or O, can influence your body's response to food.
So if you were asking me for the sort of thumbnail sketch of the whole thing, or the executive summary, it would be that blood type carries enough information for you to determine which of all the competing diet theories is going to be the one that's best suited for you.
The blood type diet theory suggests that each blood type has specific dietary needs, and that eating foods designed for your blood type can improve digestion, help you lose weight, increase your energy, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. According to D'Adamo, the blood type diet is pretty straightforward. If you're type O, you're considered the hunter, which means that your body supposedly thrives on high-protein foods like lean meats, fish, and vegetables. But grains and dairy, not so great for you. If you're blood type A, you're labeled the cultivator, or agrarian, and plant-based diets are your friend. Think fruits, veggies, legumes, and whole grains, with animal proteins and dairy on the not-so-much list. For blood type B, also called the nomad, you are said to have more dietary flexibility, handling both animal and plant-based foods, though you might want to avoid chicken, corn, wheat, and tomatoes. Lastly, blood type AB, referred to as the enigma because it's rare, is thought to benefit from a blend of A and B diets. Tofu, dairy, seafood, and green veggies are recommended for you. Seems simple, right? Just match your meals to your blood type and you're set. But where did this concept even come from? What's the history behind it? And does it really hold up scientifically? Let's explore. Let's learn about the origin of blood types and human evolution.
So rewind 50 years, Carl Landsteiner discovered the 4 human blood types, O, A, B, and AB, in 1900. In no time, doctors had begun wondering if this new genetic differentiation that was the cause of so many deaths from rejected blood transfusions could also determine how people metabolize food. The question lingered for a few years, but fizzled out by the end of the Second World War. But D'Adamo, while studying in Germany in the 50s, became intrigued by the idea of blood type as a genetic marker for diet.
Dr. D'Adamo's theory is based on the idea that different blood types evolved at various points in human history, and as a result, our bodies have adapted to certain foods. For example, blood type O is believed to be the earliest blood type associated with hunter and gatherers, who primarily ate meat and fish. Blood type O is said to have been the dominant blood type during the Paleolithic era, about 30,000 years ago, when our ancestors relied on hunting and gathering for sustenance. During this time, grains and dairy products were virtually non-existent in the human diet, which may explain why D'Adamo claims that type O individuals don't handle grains or dairy well today. Blood type A, on the other hand, is thought to have developed around 10,000 years ago with the rise of agriculture. Humans began cultivating crops and plant-based foods became more prominent in the diet. D'Adamo believes that people with blood type A have digestive systems better suited for vegetarian or vegan diets. Blood type B is said to have appeared around 10,000 or 15,000 years ago among nomadic tribes in Asia and Africa. These tribes relied heavily on both animal husbandry and agriculture, leading to a diet that includes a wide range of foods. Lastly, blood type AB, the rarest of all blood types, is thought to be the most recent, rising less than 1,000 years ago through a combination of blood types A and B. According to D'Adamo, those with blood type AB can tolerate both animal-based and plant-based foods, but they should be careful with foods that are problematic for blood types A and B. So, now that we've discovered what each blood type is supposed to eat, you might be wondering, does this diet actually change what your body needs in terms of nutrition? Let's see if eating for your blood type changes your need for proteins, fats, and carbs, and how it alters where you get them from. Macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are essential for everyone, but the blood type diet changes where you're supposed to get them from. For example, if you're blood type O, the diet recommends getting most of your protein from animal sources like lean meat and fish, while discouraging grains and dairy, meaning you might need to get fiber from fruits and veggies. Blood type A, on the other hand, focuses on plant-based proteins like tofu, beans, legumes, with fats coming from sources like nuts and seeds instead of animal products. Blood type B takes a more balanced approach, allowing both animal and plant-based proteins, with dairy being okay, but foods like chicken, meat, and tomatoes flagged as problematic. For blood type AB, the diet is a mix of foods suitable for both types A and B, encouraging a balance of plant and animal proteins while being mindful of foods that could cause issues for either group. It sounds logical in theory, but does it really work? Let's dig into the science. So here's what the science says.
So the question is it true? Type A, more vegetarian. Type O, well, you need Spam. We had the opportunity to put this to the test. And we reported last week that we just published in JAMA Network Open a very large study of 244 people who were put either on a vegan diet or stayed on the same kind of diet. And we were able in 68 of these people to test the blood type diet. 68 people came in, every single one was blood type. We know if you're an A or a B or an AB or an O. And we put all of them on a vegan diet. And now if a vegan diet turns out to be good for type A and bad for type O, then the type O's shouldn't have done very well. They shouldn't have lost weight. Their LDL cholesterol shouldn't have gotten better, but the type A should have been much better. Okay, so we compared to the type A's to people who didn't have type A. We compared those with O to people who didn't.
Unfortunately, for fans of the blood type diet, there's no strong evidence supporting its effectiveness. In fact, several studies have tried to explore whether eating according to your blood type has any measurable health benefits, and the results don't look promising. Dr. Neil Bernard has shared one such study where individuals were kept on a vegan diet for days, regardless of their blood type.
And may I have the envelope, please? Here's what we found. Okay, so with regard to weight loss, again, the people who are type A are supposed to do really well on a vegan diet. And they did do really well on a vegan diet. They dropped about 5.7 kilograms, call that what, maybe 12 pounds, something like that. But the people who did not have type A and supposedly wouldn't do well on a vegan diet, they lost weight too. The vegan diet was good for them too. In fact, they lost a little bit more weight, about 7 kilograms, call that what, maybe 16 pounds? All right, now how about the type O's? Well, the type O's lost 7.1 kilograms. The people who didn't have type O lost 6.2. So in other words, the type O people were supposed to be the ones who wouldn't do very well on a vegan diet, but they did great.
The JAMA Network Open published that 244 participants were either placed on a vegan diet or continued their regular eating habits. Among them, 68 had their blood types documented. The goal was to see if those with blood type A would benefit more from the vegan diet, as the blood type diet suggests, and whether individuals with blood type O would see fewer benefits or struggle. The results did not support the blood type diet theory.
If you feed them a meaty diet, they all do badly. When you switch them to a vegan diet, it doesn't matter which blood type they have, they all do well. So it looks like a plant-based diet is the diet to be on, whether you're type A, type O, or anything else.
It was seen that the participants with blood type A and non-type A showed positive outcomes in terms of weight loss and cholesterol levels, proving that the vegan diet worked regardless of blood type. So, the study found no evidence to back the idea that diet effectiveness depends on blood type. All participants, regardless of blood type, benefited similarly from the vegan diet. Additionally, A 2013 review published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition also evaluated the scientific evidence behind blood type diets and found no evidence that supported the theory. The authors noted that while some aspects of the diet, like encouraging more vegetables and lean proteins, are healthy, they aren't necessarily tied to one's blood type. As we've seen that science doesn't provide much support for the blood type diet, what theory does Dr. D'Adamo have to back or support this diet?
There are certain beans that if I consume them, it would cause a reaction in my bloodstream, it might cause my blood to clump up, it might cause my immune system to go out of control or overactivate. Those very same proteins and those very same beans and legumes would not fit the chemical of a person of a different blood type.
Dr. D'Adamo explains the relationship of lectin with your body's reaction to different types of diets.
And a lectin is a naturally occurring protein that is able to attach to certain molecules, so it's like an adhesive molecule. But the word lectin comes from the Latin legere, which is actually synonymous with the word key, meaning that there's a high degree of specificity. Just like not every key will fit a certain lock, many lectins will only fit certain molecules, and many of those molecules are specific to one blood type or another.
Lectins are proteins found in certain foods that are believed to interact with blood cells based on blood type. Dr. D'Adamo claimed that eating certain foods might be fine for one blood type, but harmful for another, as the wrong foods could cause lectins to bind to cells in ways that promote inflammation or disease. However, modern science just doesn't back up this claim. While it's true that lectins can have some effects on the body, these effects are not determined by blood type. In fact, most lectins are broken down in the digestive process and don't cause harm when consumed in reasonable amounts.
Next time you hear about any kind of extreme diet, like a blood type diet, where you actually have to embark on a specific thing based on the type of blood grouping that you actually have, just ignore it. Here's what I want you to do. Just go ahead and eat healthy foods that you enjoy, mostly plant-based foods, fruits and vegetables, nuts and legumes, healthy oils. Eat to actually enjoy your life. And that's the best way. If you can actually love your food to love your health, that will actually dispel things.
So, why do people get drawn to diets like the blood type diet, even when science is lacking? This taps into a broader question about the psychology behind dieting. Most of us crave structure and rules around food. Fad diets like the blood type diet often clear guidelines about what to eat and what to avoid. This can give people a sense of control over their health, which is appealing, especially in a world full of confusing, often contradictory nutrition advice.
If you kind of look at these diets, you're cutting out a lot of junk food. You're cutting out a lot of foods that make you fat. So that's probably why it works for some people. So it's not that people don't get some results on that. Okay, so that's my opinion on the blood type diet.
Another factor is the desire for personalized approaches. The idea that your unique biology, and in this case your blood type, could hold the key to perfect health is enticing. So, even if the science isn't there, the perception of individualized care can be enough to make people feel like they're on the right track. Another factor is personalized nutrition, which is more than just blood type. Your genetics, your gut microbiome, activity level, health goals, and even your personal preferences play a much larger role in determining what foods work best for you. Research published in the journal Nature has shown that people respond differently to the same foods. Factors like genetics and microbiome diversity can significantly influence how our bodies handle nutrients. For instance, one person might be able to metabolize carbohydrates efficiently, while another might experience spikes in blood sugar from the same meal. This level of personalization is the future of what nutrition looks like, not broad categorizations based on blood type. So, should you try the blood type diet? If you're curious, there's no harm in trying it, as long as you approach it with caution. The point here is that some people find it easier to stick to a diet when it gives clear guidelines. The blood type diet offers a specific set of foods to focus on, which can be appealing for people who need structure to stay motivated. Additionally, Some of the food restrictions in the blood type diet, like limiting dairy or grains, might help with certain digestive problems. However, this would likely be due to the elimination of common irritants like lactose or gluten rather than blood type. Remember that what works for one person may not work for another. If you feel like giving the blood type diet a go, it won't hurt, especially if it encourages you to eat more whole, unprocessed foods. However, one concern with the blood type diet is that it might not be nutritionally balanced for everyone. If you follow a strict version of the diet, you could miss out on important vitamins and minerals. For example, someone with blood type A who eliminates animal products might not get enough vitamin B12, iron, or omega-3 fatty acids unless they take supplements or carefully plan their diet. Similarly, if you're blood type O and you avoid grains, you might find it challenging to get enough fiber, which is crucial for gut health. There's also the risk that following a highly restrictive diet could lead to frustration or an unhealthy relationship with food. If the blood type diet leaves you feeling deprived or overly focused on what you can't eat, it may not be sustainable in the long run. At the end of the day, the best approach to eating is one that is balanced, sustainable, and works for your individual needs. So, what are your thoughts on this? Have you ever tried the blood type diet or know someone who has? Share your experiences or questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, you are what you eat, so nurture your health. And remember to take your daily dose of longevity seed for a vibrant life. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share for more insightful content like this.